Imagine arriving in Rome after a 14-hour journey, exhausted and ready to finally settle in, and then standing in your hotel room, realizing everything you need for the night is inside your checked bag, which is still somewhere between Atlanta and Frankfurt. The bag delay was not preventable. Being completely stranded without essentials absolutely was. And number 4 on today's list is exactly what fixes that. Most people pack the same way they always have. A stack of shirts, a stack of pants, toiletries thrown in last, shoes wherever they fit. And it works until the bag is overweight at the counter or takes 45 minutes to unpack at 11 o'clock at night when all you want to do is sleep. There is a better system. It takes about the same amount of time to pack, and it makes every single part of the trip easier, from the moment you zip the bag to the moment you get home. Here are 9 rules. Number 9 is the 30-second thing almost nobody does until the first trip they wish they had. Number 8 makes late-night hotel arrivals dramatically easier. And number 4 is the one that keeps a delayed suitcase from ruining your first day entirely. Hi, I am Florence. These are not packing hacks for minimalists trying to live out of a backpack. These are practical rules for real travelers who want to bring what they need, arrive prepared, and not spend the return trip sitting on their suitcase trying to get it closed. Let us get into it. Most travelers discover their bag is overweight at the worst possible moment. Standing at the check-in counter, bag on the scale, agent waiting, and suddenly you are crouching on an airport floor, repacking your shoes into a carry-on while people walk around you. Stressful, embarrassing, and entirely avoidable. A luggage scale costs under $15 and takes 30 seconds to use at home. Weigh the bag before you leave. Know the number. Adjust while you still have options. But there is a second step almost nobody takes. Photograph the bag. Open suitcase first, everything visible. Then all 4 sides of the exterior. If the bag goes missing, that photo changes the conversation with the airline immediately. And if you have ever come home and genuinely could not remember what you brought, that photo tells you exactly what to edit at time. 30 seconds before you leave the house. Weigh it, photograph it, and walk out the door, knowing you are prepared if something goes wrong. If your bag does go missing, keep it simple at the counter. I have photos of the bag and its contents. I would like to file a detailed claim. Short, clear, and it signals immediately that you came prepared. The scale protects your wallet at the counter. The next tip protects your sanity the moment you arrive at the hotel. It is 10 o'clock at night. Long flight, long taxi ride. You are standing in front of your suitcase, and somewhere inside it are your pajamas, your toothbrush, and a clean shirt for tomorrow, but you have no idea where any of it is. This is where the first night cube changes everything. One dedicated packing cube, packed last so it sits right on top. Inside it, pajamas, tomorrow's underwear and socks, a clean shirt for the morning, and your basic toiletries. You arrive tired. Pull out one cube, and everything you need for the next 12 hours is in your hand. The rest of the suitcase stays untouched until morning when you are rested and thinking clearly. It is a small thing that does not feel small at 10 o'clock at night in an unfamiliar room. Pack the cube last. Put it on top. Do not open it during travel. Pull it out first when you arrive. That is the whole system. The cube handles the arrival. The next rule handles something that catches almost everyone off guard on the way home. This one surprises people every time. Most travelers pack perfectly on the way out. Every inch accounted for. Bag zipped clean. Then the return happens. Clothes that were folded in a calm bedroom at home are now being repacked in a hotel room the morning of checkout. Laundry has shifted. Something was purchased. And the bag that closed perfectly 10 days ago will not close at all. Leaving 15 to 20% empty on the way out absorbs all of that. Worn clothes repack less precisely, purchases need room, and laundry does not fold itself. A bag that is not packed to capacity is also simply lighter, easier to lift, easier to maneuver, and less likely to cause the kind of shoulder or back strain that follows you into the first days of a trip. After you finish packing, look at the bag honestly. Is there room to breathe? If the answer is no, something comes out, not rearranged, out. The return trip will be grateful. That handles the return. The next rule handles the shoes. And most people are losing more space than they realize. Shoes are among the most awkward items in any suitcase. Rigid, oddly shaped, and, if packed carelessly, they crush everything around them while wasting all the space inside them. Simple fix. Roll socks and tuck them inside the shoes. Small, soft items. A charging cable in a pouch, a rolled belt, a travel adapter, go in the toe. Then, bag each shoe individually so the soles never touch your clothing. Position the shoes along the bottom edge of the suitcase, the side that rests against the floor when the bag is upright. Heaviest and most rigid items stay low. Nothing shifts onto softer things during transit. Bringing more than one pair of shoes is often just practical. Using the space inside each pair means you may not have to choose between them. Bag the shoes, fill the dead space, place them low. 3 small steps that recover more room than most people expect. The next tip is one of the most useful things I can share with anyone traveling as a couple, and almost nobody does it. If you are traveling with a partner or companion, and you each have a checked bag, this tip alone can turn a potential disaster into a minor inconvenience. Instead of each person packing all of their own belongings in their own bag, split one complete outfit for each person between the 2 suitcases. Your partner's bag carries one of your outfits. Your bag carries one of theirs. If one suitcase goes missing, neither traveler is completely stranded. You both have something to wear, something to work with, until the delayed bag is recovered. This takes 30 seconds of extra planning and gives you a real backup if one bag gets delayed. Before you both zip your bags, swap one outfit. It takes 30 seconds, and you hope you never need it. The trip where you do will make every trip you did it feel completely worth it. And that leads directly into the next rule, which takes that same thinking even further. This is not about overpacking your carry-on. It is about being deliberate about what goes in it. One complete change of clothes, underwear, socks, a top, comfortable pants, or a simple dress. Your prescription medications, glasses or hearing aids, your passport and insurance cards, any medical records relevant to your trip. Everything that cannot be replaced in 24 hours in an unfamiliar city travels with you in your carry-on or personal item, not in the checked bag. Airlines mishandle bags. It does not happen often, but it happens. And when it does, recovery timelines are unpredictable. A delayed bag full of clothes is an inconvenience. A delayed bag with your blood pressure medication and your passport is a different situation entirely. Clothes and other replaceable items can usually be dealt with later. The things that keep you healthy, documented, and functioning cannot wait for a bag that may not arrive until tomorrow. Before you zip the checked bag, do one sweep. Ask yourself, if this bag does not land with me, what inside it cannot wait? Move those things. every time. If a bag is delayed, say this at the counter: "My checked bag has not arrived. What necessities can I purchase now? And what receipts or documentation should I keep in case those expenses are eligible for reimbursement?" Clear, calm, and it moves the conversation forward immediately. Quick pause before the final three. Which of these would have saved you on a past trip? Tell me what happened in the comments. I read them all, and if this is helping, hit like and subscribe right now, because what is coming next includes the packing method that can dramatically cut down on overpacking, and the weight rule that most travelers only learn after their body reminds them. Stay with me. Packing cubes organize. Compression cubes compress. Those are two different tools for two different goals, and mixing them up is where most people go wrong. Extreme compression can let you fit considerably more clothing into the same space. It can also make it much easier to pack more weight than you intended. A suitcase that is perfectly organized but too heavy to handle comfortably is still a problem. Use standard cubes to organize by category or by outfit. Save compression for one or two genuinely bulky items: a jacket, a sweater, not as a strategy for bringing more than the trip actually needs. Know where everything is, bring what you need, and keep the bag manageable from curb to gate to hotel room. 3 or 4 standard cubes, organized by type or by day. Compression only where it genuinely helps, and always ask whether the bag is still something you can handle comfortably on your own. That organizes what goes in. The next tip changes how you decide what goes in at all, and it is the shift that can dramatically cut down on overpacking. The usual approach is to pack by category: a stack of shirts, a stack of pants, a few shoe options. Then, during the trip, you discover that 3 of the shirts only really work with 1 pair of pants, 2 pairs of shoes never got worn, and you brought 6 tops for a 5-day trip because you were not sure which ones would feel right. The better approach is to lay out complete outfits before anything goes into the bag. Day 1, Day 2. 1 evening option: travel outfit for the journey home. Lay them on the bed as a collection and look at them honestly. Which pieces appear in more than one combination? Which ones only work alone? Remove the single-use items. Replace them with versatile pieces that earn their space by working across at least 2 different combinations. Getting dressed in an unfamiliar room is simply easier when every item in the bag was put there with a purpose. Lay the outfits out first. If a piece only works alone, leave it home. Pack the combinations, not the categories. That is the whole rule. Before the final takeaway, one quick thing that has nothing to do with what goes inside the suitcase and everything to do with what happens if something goes wrong on the trip itself. In an upright rolling suitcase, the wheels sit at the bottom when the bag is standing. The heaviest items, shoes, toiletry bags, jeans, a jacket, belong packed closest to that wheelbase. Lighter things like t-shirts, underwear, socks, and delicate fabrics go toward the top. Weight distributed low keeps the bag balanced and prevents it from becoming top-heavy and tipping. It also means that when you lift the bag onto a scale, into a taxi trunk, or when positioning it for storage, the weight is centered and manageable rather than pulling awkwardly to one side. A top-heavy suitcase across uneven airport flooring, up a curb, or through a crowded terminal is genuinely harder to manage. Proper weight distribution is not a minor convenience. It is a practical one that helps across the entire trip. A properly balanced bag is easier to control when you need to lift or position it. And if the bag feels too heavy to handle safely, do not strain to prove you can. Ask for assistance. Before you zip, do a quick check. Lift the bag by the top handle and feel where the weight pulls. If it pulls high, rearrange. Shoes and toiletries go down. Everything light goes up. And if you need help with an overhead bin, a polite, direct request is always worth making. Would you mind helping me get this up? I would really appreciate it. Depending on the airline and the situation, a crew member may assist you or help you find another safe way to stow the bag. Packing smart protects you from inconveniences. But there are situations no amount of preparation fully covers. Unexpected medical issues abroad, a serious disruption far from home, circumstances that go beyond a delayed bag. Before any international trip, I would encourage you to look carefully at what your current health coverage actually includes when you are outside the United States and consider whether a dedicated travel insurance plan makes sense for your situation. One option worth looking at is Safety Wing, and I have included a link in the description below. Take a few minutes before your next trip to understand what you are covered for and what you are not. That kind of preparation is just as important as anything we packed today. B-roll, Florence voiceover, cut away from Florence. Rapid recap montage. Outfits, wheel end packing. Cubes, first night cube. Cross-packing, carry-on kit. Shoes, empty space, scale, and photos. 9 rules. None of them require buying anything expensive or rethinking the entire trip. Pack outfits, not categories. Weight goes low. Cubes organize without becoming a reason to overpack. First night cube on top. Cross-pack if you are traveling with someone. Build a 24-hour survival kit in your carry-on. Fill the shoes. Leave room to breathe. Weigh it and photograph it before you leave the driveway. The travelers who consistently have smooth trips are not the ones who pack the most. They are the ones who pack with a system.